Welcome back, eco-warriors, to the Institute of Urban Ecology. Spring's here, which means it's time to get out the lawnmower. But aren't you tired of all that weeding, watering, and mowing? Keeping the perfectly manicured lawn isn't just a pain in your neck. It's actually one of the most overlooked, ecologically unsustainable practices in urban ecosystems around the globe. Luckily, however, there's been more and more research on lawn alternatives and how to go grass-free. And here in Metro Vancouver, there are some readily available options out there for you to try. So in today's episode, we're going to take a look at those up-and-coming trends in lawn alternatives, and of course, give you the tools and resources you need to go grass-free this spring. So let's get started. Let's start off by talking about weeds. What is a weed? What makes one plant a beautiful flower and another a weed? Weeds are simply plants that grow somewhere we don't want them to. To do this, they're often fast growing and able to compete with other plants nearby. That's it. Biologically speaking, there's nothing wrong with weeds. We as humans have just been taught that we don't want them around, especially in our lawns. But why? The history of the lawn goes back to the 16th century, where it was a status symbol for the rich. To have a perfectly kept lawn meant that you had the time and money to invest in such a novelty. Today, our lawns still reflect the type of people that we are. Are we a good neighbor? Are we neat and tidy? Do we care what other people think? According to scientificamerica.com, a lawn's primary purpose is to make us look and feel good about ourselves. But ecologically speaking, those perfectly kept lawns are a bit of a nightmare. Looking out your back window, you may not realize just how important your yard is to the urban ecosystem to which you belong. When we take a look from the air, we start to see a different perspective. Look at how much area is covered in grass. Each person's yard is its own micro habitat. And when we add all those little micro habitats up together, it adds up to be one pretty big chunk of our urban ecosystem. Let's start by taking a look at our lawns and weighing the pros and cons to keeping it. Pro? They look fantastic and they're really soft to sit and play on. Is that it? Oh no, wait. This monoculture of weedless grass is also the perfect breeding ground for the chafer beetle. Oh no, wait. That's not a pro, that's a con. A lot of people here in Metro Vancouver know just how frustrating it is to put in all that time and effort only to be undermined by this invasive beetle. But overall, our lawns are pretty easily destroyed by too much wear or tear. To keep the perfect looking manicured lawn requires a lot of water, weeding, mowing, and fertilizer, which can be not only costly to you, but also costly to the environment. And actually what looks like a perfect patch of greenery to us actually looks more like this to our biological neighbors. Those thin blades of grass don't provide much shelter or protection from predators. They also don't provide any source of nectar or other resources for those biological controls or other beneficials to survive on. Grass-free lawn alternatives are often made out of a mixture of plants, not just a single monoculture of grass. This mixture discourages the settlement of invasive species like the chafer beetle. It also provides more nectar, shelter, and other resources for other beneficial insects like pollinators and ground beetles. These lawn alternatives were designed with you in mind as well and are designed to help save you time and money. They require less water, less fertilizer, and less mowing. Sometimes up to 50% less mowing. So where can you find these miracle lawn alternatives? Well, West Coast Seeds has 3 readily available mixtures for you to try out today. Bee turf is a lawn alternative blend that is made up out of clovers and low-growing wildflowers. It was made in partnership with West Coast Seeds and the City of Richmond and is intended to reduce maintenance costs as well as attract more beneficial pollinators into your yard. This blend claims to require less water, less fertilizer, and less mowing than conventional lawns. It also is said to be unattractive to the chafer beetle and can stand up to grazing from deer and elk. Lawn Alternatives Wildflower Seed Mix is another beautiful option. It forms a low-growing ground cover filled with colorful wildflowers. This is guaranteed to bring in some more pollinators and beneficial insects to your garden. And once established, it doesn't require any extra watering except during long periods of dry, hot days, and it will regrow for several years. EnviroLawn is a mix of slow-growing grasses and drought-tolerant flowers, perfect for when those watering restrictions come into play. Sedum and thyme have also been used by some to replace their lawns, but before you decide to turf your turf, do a little bit of your own research and consider your own needs. Do you have pets or children, for example? Sedum and thyme are recommended for more low traffic areas, and so maybe are not the best for these types of situations. Everyone's yard is different too, so consider how much sunlight you get or how wet or dry your lawn gets in the summertime. The experts at West Coast Seeds and growgreen.com are happy to help you with any questions you have. So check out their websites in our video description down below. Our sustainability and outreach and learning garden is just starting to blossom. So stay tuned for more eco-friendly urban gardening tips. Until then, thank you for doing your part to protect our urban ecosystems. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.